Way to go, Michelle.
Being a minority in that room over there is not a good thing. Y'all make it so hard on me.
I'm sorry.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing our job.
Okay, I know we got Francis on the line.
Myrna.
Myrna, you're there? I guess so.
Yes, hi everyone.
Hey,
Hello, Myrna.
Hello,
Is that Joseph?
Dan?
Dan Culpepper.
Dan, okay. You and Joseph sound a lot
One
alike.
for me.
You tagged it right. Joseph, are you there? Eddie? Forrest?
Here.
All right. So that's 4 of us.
Well, 5, isn't it? Because Myrna, Francis, Eddie.
No, Eddie didn't
I mean,
answer.
Forrest, and the 2 of y'all. So that's 5.
Dan, that's right. You're right. That's 5. Is that all we're expecting?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't know. Ask
Oh, Gary's
Michelle.
here. That's right. Forgot about you, Gary. You're sitting right here.
Everybody responded to me. Of course, I knew Hunter wasn't gonna be here, but everybody else pretty much told me they would be here.
Okay, so Eddie or Joseph? Have either one of you come in yet? All right. Didn't get a reply from them. Boy, we have a short agenda, so we don't really have to start right on time.
It's fine. Maybe a few minutes.
Wait a couple minutes, see if they come in. Is
Sure.
that all right with you?
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to start on time, but won't hurt us to wait. So how can I put this where I can see who else is on here?
I'm not sure that your video is showing up either, so I need to look at it.
You can move.
Oh, this is the video is going. Let's see here. We never did actually go on this one.
Oh,
Muted. Video should be going.
okay, yeah, that's what we want. Where we see everybody else.
There we go. So there you are.
Yep.
Let me see the slides.
All right. How do we get rid of this? Let's click the got it.
Yeah, I clicked got it. You can probably make it to where you only see everybody else if you want. I'm not.
Okay, that's fine. Nobody else has got their camera on.
Okay.
Somebody just joined in.
Yeah.
Can't.
Huh?
Somebody just joined in. I don't know who it was.
Joseph or Eddie? I'm not here.
Chip, maybe.
Yeah, Chip, I see Chip.
Don Polk.
There's Dane going walking.
Dane's going out the front door.
We weren't supposed to see him. He's sneaking.
Well, we'll go ahead and start. The first thing, y'all, is this case 3541-21, which was that on Highway 20 that we have tabled for the last 2 months and moved it back a month. I'm gonna go ahead and recommend today that we remove this from the agenda, and when the applicant wants to place it back on the agenda, we'll add it back at that point, instead of just moving it back every month. So when we start the meeting, I'll just make that motion that we do that. So, Matthew, if you wanna go ahead and start with our,
Okay. Start with the rezonings.
the rezonings in the public hearing part.
Yes, sir. All right, rezoning 1377-21. It's 6.5 acres, currently zoned B2. The applicant is Julia Dunlop. It's located on Milligan Street Southwest, east of Danville Road Southwest. And the request is to rezone 6.5 acres from B2 General Business to M1 Light Industrial. Any questions or comments?
Okay, Now, I'm sure everybody's aware where this is. This is on Mulligan. It's actually in between some residential property that actually have people in homes that they live in. It's not quite down all the way to where the new strip center is being built behind Aldi's. But it's a piece of property that the TVA, I guess those are TVA power lines, aren't they, Gary?
Correct.
TVA transmission lines go across. No one is ever gonna build residential on this property. It's B2 now, and, you know, it's mainly retail. Currently it's a dead-end street. It's not conducive for any kind of retail. And the applicant, they want an M1 so that they can put mini storage on it. It's my opinion, that's a good use of the piece of property. You know, there are a lot of apartments around it. I think we heard from one, person there, right, Matthew?
That's correct.
And they didn't have a problem with it?
Jimmy, I don't recall them having, you fielded the call, I think?
Yeah, we had one person,
Yes.
one lady call in, and she wasn't necessarily opposed to it, she just wanted more information, and she was actually asking about, you know, potentially rezoning, how she could rezone and potentially sell her home over there. She's looking to maybe get out of that neighborhood. But she wasn't opposed to it. I told her once she talks to her neighbors, if she had an opinion that she wanted to call in and leave with us, she could, but she didn't really give one way or the other. It seemed like she wasn't not opposed to it though.
Okay, in the zoning committee meeting, I made that statement. I also said that, you know, I'm for it unless some of the property owners, adjacent property owners, come in today and have resistance to it, and, you know, then I may change my mind, but at this point, I think it's a good use of the property. I think if we don't allow something like this, it's gonna stay vacant. Most of the time, it needs mowing, you know, so it'll help the neighborhood as far as mowing. Anybody else have a question or a comment about it or anything?
Okay.
Everybody does here, right?
Well,
Francis, is that you?
yes, I do have a comment, with regards to the mowing, you know, the city needs, whoever own the property, they need to take care of that. But the only problem I have is they can do the storage buildings on there. They can also do something else, even with the power lines, am I right?
That's right. Anything that could be in M1, they sure could. That's light industry. So it could be other things. You're exactly right.
Well, TVA's not gonna let them build a structure under
That's
that
right.
high voltage line.
That's right. Yeah, as far as a structure, and it'd be the same thing with the mini storage buildings. I think they gotta be a minimum of 60 feet away from it as well.
Yeah, there's a right of way, and they
Yeah.
got to stay outside that right of way.
So, you know, I know people have looked at the property on the other side of the road before for mini storage, and they couldn't make it work, because that probably wasn't quite as big as this. But where the power lines are, it's gonna have to just be open parking.
Correct.
You know, they couldn't build a building there, they could park. Now, they still have to permit from TVA now, and TVA may even tell them they can't even park under it. You know, that'd just be something they would have to find out. Used to, you could use that right away, but now TVA makes you apply and receive a permit, and you have to describe exactly everything you're gonna do in that right of way.
Francis, there were some thoughts right along this line about what could come in besides the mini storage. When you look at what's permitted and what's use is permitted on appeal, things like a mobile home park, use is permitted on appeal, but that's the beauty of that, because some of these things that we'd be concerned about can be restrained. And like Kent said, it's kind of, I think the consensus is it'd be hard to build apartments or something in there to make enough money to actually make it feasible.
Right.
And this is one of the few projects that can go in without the additional sewer or some of the city services.
But Francis, you are exactly correct. Anything that could go in an M1 would be permitted in that area then, which is all light industrial.
Right, well, that's what cause isn't that right across the street? What's that across the street on Milligan? Right across
Apartments.
the street from them.
It's apartments.
Apartments.
Yeah.
And then next to this property is also apartment houses, right?
No, on either side of it are single-family residents.
Right, okay.
But straight
And what
across
is that right
from
behind?
it is apartment complex.
That's right.
In this apartment there on Motors Road, right behind it also.
No, ma'am,
Yes,
those are,
yes, no, on Modus, if you go all the way, no, Modus, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
No,
you're
those are
behind.
residents
That's
on
right.
Modus,
that's right.
behind.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking. So this would be right behind them,
That's correct.
okay?
That's correct. And those, those people on Modus, like I said a while ago, if they come in with resistance to it, then, it may change how I feel about it, but at this time, I think it's a good use for it. You know,
Jimmy and I did hand out the handbills all around there, so we believe people are aware of it.
But my contention is, Ken, even though if we don't have people come in to say, I mean, people might not can come or whatever, if they do not come in, I think it'd be prudent for us to realize what we're doing, even though people don't come in and say, it's our job to realize what we are doing, even though they don't come in and say, I don't agree with it.
I don't disagree with that at all, Ms. Tate, you're exactly right. My point is just to my opinion only. All of us can vote our own way, and I encourage everybody to. When I say that if they come in, my opinion could be swayed by somebody coming in and being against it. But you're exactly right. We do have to consider all of those things. But we also have to consider that the landowner has the right to change the requested zoning on their property if they can't use it for what it's zoned for now. And that's my understanding, that they can sell this piece of property if it can be rezoned for mini storage. If they don't get it rezoned, they can't sell the property. So, and that's where I sort of am. I try to weigh the landowner's rights versus the neighbor's rights and balance.
Right, well, let me ask you something. Is it possible that homes could be built in there?
Very
Because
difficult.
of the TV and the lines?
No, it's very unlikely. I'm not gonna say it's not possible, but it's very unlikely that somebody would want to build a home, where the power lines go through their backyard or their front yard, one or the other. We can't really put restrictions on it, but with the new zoning, this would require a opaque buffer between M1 and any R. We could encourage the property owner to do that, but at this point, we can't require that. But, just to be forthcoming, that in our new zoning ordinance, we're gonna have these landscape requirements, and that's what it would require. It would require between M1 and any single-family residential would require an opaque buffer. In other words, landscaping that you couldn't see through. And that would protect those property owners on Modus. Any other questions or comments?
Kent, just thinking a little bit more about that. If we rezone now and later zoning brings in that requirement, we have no way to require that of would anything else come before us, in, say, the,
No, site
Site
plan,
plan review.
or something?
no, this would not require site plan review because it's not on a street large enough to require it. Now, if they do
Okay.
not build these before the new zoning is adopted, they would have to follow the new zoning once it's adopted. But if they build them
Okay.
beforehand, they would not have to.
Okay,
You know, so, and that's a matter of months, so that, you know, that is something for us to consider. Any other questions or comments? All good comments.
And I will say, just on a planning level, is a thought, being that there's so much R4 in that area, one of the things about mini storage is that is a compatible use, because these are folks who are gonna be moving more and less, not like a permanent home. And so it kind of does fit into some extent as far as how people are gonna use the mini storage. Any other thoughts? Or?
Yeah, but my only concern is, the mini storage might be a good use now, but I'm concerned about a light industry may come in, they might decide that we don't want to do that. Once we zone it, they don't have to do the mini storage, right?
You're exactly right, Ms. Tate, that's exactly right.
And to set light industry is many things that's in this category, in that neighborhood, right in the middle of the neighborhood. I'm concerned about that.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. The only thing to add into that thought maybe, though, is that it does have control for light industrial operations not obnoxious, offensive, or detrimental to neighborhood property by reason of dust, smoke, vibration. That does give some oversight into what you're concerned with, but you're hitting on one of the concerns we had as a zoning committee, or the zoning committee had.
No, I would like it a whole lot better if we were on the new zoning ordinance where we could require that buffer. There's a lot of things that would go a lot better when we know that we can require those kind of things. But we cannot put a condition on the zoning.
Right, well, yeah, I understand that, and my problem in M1, you know, also a club could be put in there, if I'm not correct. And I don't care what anybody say, well, you want to stick a club into a neighborhood, they're gonna be disastrous, I don't care what you say.
Yeah,
It's
well,
not conducive to a neighborhood.
already,
yeah, but it's B,
already allowed it to be.
it's already allowed now because it's B2 now, so that could already be there. But you're exactly right, Francis, but that's something that, it's currently B2, so they could do that club right now.
Isn't that a church?
And I guess that's the other thing that I look at it, it's already B2 in the middle of a neighborhood. If this was an R district already, I would feel differently, but it's already a B that allows a lot of these same things that are in M1. It just doesn't allow mini storages.
And the other thing to put in there too is because it is B2, right now, it could have a pawn shop, which I think you could kind of make the same argument on the B2 side, that would be a difficulty.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're not going from an R zone, but we still gotta consider all of these things. You're exactly right. But a lot of them they can already do in a B. They can't do that light industry in a B2.
Did you want to say something?
I think, isn't that a church on the corner of Danville and
Yeah, it is.
Milligan? So that would limit, would you be able to do a club? You wouldn't be able to serve alcohol.
Well, it has to be 500 feet, and
That's right.
that church is more than 500 feet
Oh, okay.
away, so they could do that. Any other comments? Okay, we'll move to the next case then.
All right. Next one is rezoning 1378-21, 8.98 acres, currently zoned B3. The applicant is Doug Backus for Bramlett Auto, located west of Highway 31 and south of Hightower Street Southeast. The request is rezone 8.98 acres from B3 Tourist Commercial to M1 Light Industrial. Okay.
Okay, this is very similar. Of course, B3 is tourism. That was our old zoning for hotels and things like that. That's why this probably was originally a B3. My understanding, they want to continue with more car lot there. And this would be a good zone for that. That's M1, and there is M1 across the street and in the area.
Any questions? Okay.
All right, we'll move on.
Okay, next up is certificate 3554-21, 3.21 acres, currently zoned M1A. Applicant is Pewright McAnally for Kenneth Shelton. Property is located at 2105 Beltline Road Southwest. The request move lot lines between two parcels of 1.66 and 1.55 acres to create two lots of 2.42 and 0.79 acres. We have 4 conditions here: recording fees, signed owner letter, 3 signed sealed survey with 3 state plane coordinates, and the 4th confirmation from DU that 5-foot easement next to sidewalk going to the security light pole that was previously a condition has either been addressed or is no longer needed. Any questions?
That was with this one.
Oh,
I was going to say we missed one. I thought.
did I miss one?
Yeah, you missed
Well,
one.
that's what,
We skipped one.
well, somebody help me out here.
21.
Right?
Wake me up here, y'all.
Seriously, good Lord. Wish I was 52. Okay, we'll backtrack. Certificate 3553-21, 4.82 acres, currently zoned R3. Applicant is Pewright McAnally for Decatur Community Development. It's located at 1311 19th Avenue Southeast. The request subdivide one parcel of 4.82 acres into 3 parcels of 3.1, 0.69, and 1.03 acres. 4 conditions: signed owner letter, 2 recording fees, 3 signed sealed survey with 3 state plane coordinates, and the 4th sewer extension will be required for the creation of City Lot 2. The director may waive this condition if it is determined that the sewer is not needed.
Now, this is the property that the church is going to be donating to the city, that they're building this new special needs park on, correct?
That's correct. Behind Oak Park.
Right. And did we have any discussion with the director about waiving the sewer on this other lot, or we're just leaving that until to see what happens on that lot?
That's right, the second one.
Okay, so then they showed an easement to that lot then still?
City will have to give us an easement on that lot.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So to me, it sort of seems like that we're gonna have to put the easement in as a condition if the director's not waiving it at this time. Is that right?
I believe so.
I thought that's how in
Yeah, that would
PRC
make
we
sense to me,
stated
yes.
it. It was either or.
Right, okay. So let's see, how do we want to do that? Sewer extension will need to be granted easements.
Yes, unless the director waives the conditions. Dear, do you know what size easement?
Probably about a 15-foot easement,
Uh,
maximum, maybe a 10.
do we have anybody from Pewright on with us?
Hey, Kenneth, this is Nathan Tombrell, I'm on.
So Nathan, did you understand it that way, that we would have to show the easement unless the director waived it? Or How did you understand that?
Are you talking about reference for the sewer service?
Yes.
Yeah, unless they waived it, then we wouldn't be required to show that easement to get sewer to that lot.
Okay, so if we put this condition to say, that that the condition would be there would be a sewer easement unless the director waives it, you're good with that, right?
Yeah, I don't think there'd be any problem with that. And also, too, I need to clarify, I think in the TRC, I told you that track 2 and 3 was gonna be, deeded over to the city. It's only track 2, the nonprofit is gonna keep track 3.
Okay. So is track 2 the one the park's gonna be on?
I believe that's correct. I believe that's correct, yes.
Okay,
That's right.
all right. So, okay, so you change it to unless we're good. Okay. Any other comments or questions on this from anyone? Okay.
Okay. Well, make sure I get the right one this time. Okay. Well, there it is. All right, now we're back to the one before, 3554-21, 3.21 acres. It's currently zoned M1A, Pewright McAnally for Kenneth Shelton, located at 2105 Beltline Road Southwest. The request is move lot lines of 2 parcels to create 2 lots of 2.42 and 0.79, and the 4 conditions that were read earlier. Any comments or questions on that one? Okay. Next item is extraterritorial certificate 3555-21. It's 15.17 acres. There is no zoning. The applicant is Morgan County Commission for Ty Batchelor and Keith Holbrooks. It's located at 126 Mill Road Southwest. The request is subdivide a parcel of 15.17 acres into 2 parcels, 11.08 acres and 3.82 acres, with 0.27 acres being dedicated as new right-of-way for Witten Lane Southwest. There's 6 conditions. 1 is recording fees, 2 is signed owner letter, signed sealed survey with 3 state plan coordinates, 4, correct street name error on the plat showing the subdivided parcels. Currently it says Mill Street instead of Mill Road. 5, show Black Bear LLC gas line and easement on the plat. And number 6, coordinate with Joe Wheeler to get their power easement added to the plat. Get information from Joe Wheeler that this condition is satisfied. Any comments or questions? Okay. All right, next up, site plan. Site plan 619-21. It's 25.6 acres, currently zoned M1. The applicant is Pewright McAnally for Graham and Company. It's located at 23366 Bibb Garrett Road. Request approval of a revised site plan for a distribution center. Any questions or comments on that?
What created this, back originally when this site was approved a few years back, was before the overpass on Highway 20 at Bibb Garrett. So we were not gonna allow trucks to use Bibb Garrett to come to Highway 20, so we wouldn't allow a left turn out of there. Now that that has all changed and there's an overpass and Bibb Garrett is gonna be ready for trucks, you know, they wanted to get the left turn, and that's why they're requesting this change. Which works now. I don't think we have any problems with it now that we're gonna have the overpass.
All right, very good. Yes, sir. All right, last item, site plan 620-21, 2.52 acres, currently zoned M1 and B2. The applicant is Pewright McAnally for Fivefold Properties, LLC, located at 2009 6th Avenue Southeast. The request approval of site plan for a new restaurant, which will be a Culver's. We have 5 conditions to be met. 1, need landscaping plan. 2, need photometric plan. 3, grease interceptor will be required. 4, 25-foot easement needed for DU water and sewer from McGlathery Lane. 5, DU approval of sewer construction plans. And the owner did want to mention that he was sorry that he could not be here, but he did send some renderings, so we've added it into a slideshow to give people a little better idea of the culvers.
Okay, so here it is here. Nice looking building.
Any questions or
This is
comments on this
Lana.
one?
Yeah, I have a question. We discussed this site once before, and, we talked about having a right turn only when leaving this location. Does anybody remember that?
Yes, that's
I
exactly
do.
right, when it was gonna be a convenience store.
A convenience store,
Well, yeah, something like
That's right. It was going to be,
a gas station or
gas station,
something?
convenience
Yes, ma'am.
store, right. And that was on the 31. See, if you look at this, they don't have an entrance on the 31.
that's right.
This one doesn't.
They'll be entering off.
So you can't turn onto Sixth Avenue when leaving
You,
this location?
you can, but.
Or do you have to come out on McGlathery?
You have, well, you can come out on McGlathery, or you can come out in the,
Across from Stratford Road.
cross, in that parking lot for that whole shopping center.
That's right.
That primarily their main entrance and exit is out of that shopping center, access that has a traffic light, you know, that crosses over to Stratford, or you can turn left or right with a traffic light. So the one that you're referring to a few years back, they were gonna have access directly to, Sixth Avenue, and this one doesn't.
Okay,
So
and
there-
so is that like a berm there that I'm looking in the, at the bottom of the, site plan? That oval, that long oval shape? Is that what's facing
It's a
Sixth
drive,
Avenue?
drive
That's the
through.
drive, is, someone from, McAnally, can y'all answer her question?
Yeah, and that's Richard. Yeah, basically, Kent, you did describe it correctly. There is no direct access to Sixth Avenue from this site. They can come out onto the entrance road that goes into the shopping center that's off of that signalized intersection. They can come out directly to that, or they can also go out towards the north through the shopping center parking lot to get to McGlathery. The area that you're seeing, I think what you're talking about, that oval area, we do have a curb around our parking lot, and there's also some curb that's along that existing entrance drive into the shopping center. The area in between those two curbs will be landscaped.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes, ma'am.
Richard. Any other questions? All right, great. So we have about 10 minutes, before the hearing starts. Y'all can hang out or take a break.
All right, bye.
All right.
JC. here now.
Do what? Okay, this being the time and place for the regular scheduled meeting for the City of Decatur Planning Commission, I'd like to call us to order. Please call the roll.
Lawrence,
Here.
Borden,
Here.
Tate,
Here,
Pepper, Wynn,
Here.
Temple,
Here.
Burrows,
here,
Culpepper, Pike.
Here.
Okay, did you get called, Pepper?
Dana didn't,
I did not hear him.
Okay, he's online.
he's muted.
Mr. Culpepper, are you muted? Not muted either, so, okay. Well, we do have a quorum. I move that the items on today's agenda are essential and minimal to the continuing function of our community as recommended by the Technical Review Committee. Do I have a second to this motion?
Second.
A second by Mr. Borden. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes of last month's meeting? Do we have a motion to accept last month's meeting minutes?
I'm sorry, the minutes didn't get passed out this month.
Well, then we can't approve them when we don't have them. Okay?
I apologize.
Forget all of that.
I'm on page like 12.
It's a long
Okay,
meeting.
I'm gonna skip the introduction part today. Okay, first off, certificate 3541-21. This is the one that we have voted the last 2 months to table to the following month. I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion today. They're asking not to be on the agenda today, so I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion that we remove this from the agenda until they ask us to add it back on the agenda. So do I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Borden. Please call the roll.
Lawrence,
Yes.
Borden,
Yes.
Tate,
yes,
Wynn,
Yes.
Temple,
Yes.
Burrows,
yes,
Culpepper,
Yes.
Pike.
Yes.
Okay, the first part of today's meeting is a public hearing. Each item will be read separately and voted on after comments and discussion. If you wish to comment on any item, we ask that you come forward to the microphone, state your name and address, and make your comments. We ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. If you're watching online, you can email us at planning@decatur-al.gov. That is planning@decatur-al.gov. Please include your name and address, the case name or number, and please limit your comments to 850 words or less. Your emails will be read at the time we hear that case. So if you do have a case that you want to send something in, now's the time to be sending that email in, even before we get to that case. Today's public hearing will have this type of request. It's rezonings. This is changing the current zoning of a property to a different zoning. If an applicant wishes to go on to the city council without recommendation from the planning commission, they should notify the planning department via email or in writing tomorrow. One thing I will say on rezonings, we just vote on those to recommend to the city council whether they should or should not rezone the property. So we're not the final say on rezoning. So if you'll go ahead and give us the first case, please, sir.
Alrighty. First case is rezoning 1377-21, 6.5 acres, currently zoned B2, The applicant is Julia Dunlop. It's located Milligan Street Southwest, east of Danville Road Southwest. The request, rezone 6.5 acres from B2 General Business to M1 Light Industry. New zone would be M1, and proposed land use is commercial mini storage. That's
No conditions. Okay, do we have anyone from the public who would wish to speak to this case? Okay, no one wishing to speak. Do we have a motion to recommend approval to the council?
Motion for approval?
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Pike, second.
A motion by Mr. Borden, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion from anyone on the commission? Okay, please call the roll.
Lawrence,
Oh, I'm sorry, let me back up. Do we have any emails?
no, sir, no emails.
Okay, and this being the first case, I think we need to allow a minute to
Okay.
see if we get an email. So I'm gonna hold up for a minute here, y'all, and then we'll take the vote. Like I mentioned earlier, if you want to comment on any of these cases today, if you would email us at planning@decatur-al.gov. Now's the time to be sending your emails. Any emails yet?
Nope.
Okay, we did not receive any emails, so if you would call the roll, please.
Lawrence,
Yes.
Borden,
Yes.
Tate,
No.
Wien,
Yes.
Temple,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
Culpepper,
Yes.
Pike.
Yes.
Okay, this request will be recommended to the council for approval. Please read the next case.
Okay, it's rezoning 1378-21. It's 8.98 acres, currently zoned B3. The applicant is Doug Backus for Bramlett Auto. It's located west of Highway 31, south of Hightower Street, southeast. The request, rezone 8.98 acres from B3 Tourist Commercial to M1 Light Industry. New zone will be M1, proposed land use commercial auto sales, and there are no conditions to be met.
Okay, anyone from the public wish to speak to this request? Okay, with no one wishing to speak, is there a motion to recommend this request to the council?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Borden, second by Mrs. Tate. Any discussion from anyone on the commission? Please call the roll.
Lawrence,
Yes?
Borden,
Yes.
Tate,
Yes.
Wien,
Yes.
Temple,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
Culpepper,
Yes.
Pike.
Yes.
Okay, this one is unanimous to recommend to the council for approval. Okay, now we move into the consent agenda portion of the agenda. This is the part of the agenda that the Planning Commission has the final decision on and does not require a public hearing. These items are read together and voted on as a group. Today we have these type requests. Certificates to subdivide. This is a one-step process to subdivide no more than 3 lots or to consolidate lots, a survey is required. And we have site plan reviews, proposed developments on a collector street or above. Plans show building placement, parking, circulation, landscaping, etc. If you wish to comment on any of these items, you may do so after all the items have been read.
All right.
If you go ahead with the first request.
Yes, sir. First thing up is Certificate 3553-21, 4.82 acres, currently zoned R3. The applicant is Pewright McAnally for Decatur Community Development, located at 1311 19th Avenue Southeast. The request subdivide one parcel of 4.82 acres into three parcels of 3.1, 0.69, and 1.03 acres. Proposed land use is institutional/civic. There are 4 conditions to be met. 1, signed owner letter. 2, recording fees. 3, signed sealed survey with 3 state plane coordinates. And the 4th one, we'll need to show an easement for a sewer extension for the creation of City Lot 2. This may be waived by the director. Okay.
Point of information.
Yes, sir, thank you. Point of information. Any relocation utilities will be at the owner's expense, and Lot 3 will either need sewer extension or septic system approval prior to development. Okay, the next item, Certificate 3554-21, 3.21 acres, currently zoned M1A. Applicant is Pewright McAnally for Kenneth Shelton. The request moved lot lines between 2 parcels of 1.66 and 1.55 acres to create 2 lots of 2.42 and 0.79 acres. Proposed land use is commercial, and we have 4 conditions. 1, recording fees. 2, signed owner letter. 3, signed sealed survey with 3 state plane coordinates. 4, confirmation from DU that 5-foot easement, 2.5 feet on either side next to the sidewalk, going to the security light pole that was previously a condition has either been addressed or is no longer needed. 1 point of information, any relocation of utilities will be at the owner's expense.
And this is at 2105 Beltline Road.
Thank you. All right, the next item is Extraterritorial Certificate 3555-21, 15.17 acres. There is no zoning. The applicant is Morgan County Commission for Ty Batchelor and Keith Holbrooks. It's located at 126 Mill Road Southwest. The request subdivide a parcel of 15.17 acres into 2 parcels of 11.08 acres and 3.82 acres, with 0.27 acres being dedicated as new right-of-way for Witten Lane Southwest. There are 6 conditions. 1, recording fees. 2, signed owner letter. 3, signed sealed survey with 3 state plane coordinates. 4, correct the name error on the plat showing the subdivided parcels. Currently it says Mill Street instead of Mill Road. 5, show Black Bear LLC gas line and easement on the plat. 6, coordinate with Joe Wheeler to get their power easement added to the plat. Get information from Joe Wheeler that this condition is satisfied. And point of information, any relocation of utilities will be at the owner's expense. Okay. Next up is Site Plan 619-21. It's 25.6 acres, currently zoned M1. The applicant is Pewright McAnally for Graham and Company. It's located at 23366 Bibb Garrett Road. Request approval of a revised site plan for a distribution center. Proposed land use is industrial. There are no conditions to be met, and 1 point of information. Any relocation of utilities will be at the owner's expense. And the final item, Site Plan 620-21. It's 2.52 acres, currently zoned M1 and B2. The applicant is Pewright McAnally for Fivefold Properties, LLC. It's located at 2009 6th Avenue Southeast. The request, approval of a site plan for a new restaurant, a Culver's. Proposed land use is commercial. There are 5 conditions to be met. 1, need landscaping plan. 2, need photometric plan. 3, grease interceptor will be required. 4, 25-foot easement needed for DU water and sewer from McClathery Lane. 5, DU approval of sewer construction plans. And 1 point of information, any relocation of utilities will be at owner's expense. And the owner did ask us to pass along his regrets that he could not attend this meeting, but he did send some renderings for us to take a look at.
Okay, is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak to any of these requests? Did we receive any emails?
No emails.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve all these cases?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second, Pike.
Okay, motion by Mr. Borden, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion from the commission? Please call the roll.
Lawrence,
Yes?
Borden,
Yes.
Tate,
Yes.
Wynn,
Yes.
Temple,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
Culpepper,
Yes.
Pike.
Yes.
Okay, all these are approved. We have no other business for today, so we are adjourned, and I thank everyone for being here today.
Thanks. Bye.
All right.
Bye, guys.